Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and welcome to a very magical episode of Behind the Velvet Rope Live. Because we're joined by Broadway's The Illusionists, Dana Daniels and Rick Thomas. We also have friend of the show, Jack Rico from Showbiz Cafe, joining us to talk about one of the biggest movies in America, Nocturnal Animals, and we're chatting with some of television and film's biggest stars. Here's a sneak peek. On this episode of Behind the Velvet Rope Live, we're going to dissect Tom Ford's beautiful yet haunting thriller, Nocturnal Animals. If you're looking to adopt a pet, look no further than the North Shore Animal League, and we catch up with supporters Howard and Beth Stern and all of their celebrity guests at their annual gala. We get in the ring with Adriana Lima as the countdown to the Victoria's Secret fashion show continues. Lee Daniels continues to build his TV empire with his new show Star. And we get the scoop about the new season of Scandal from America's favorite fictional president, Tony Goldwyn. All that and more on Behind the Velvet Rope Live. I told you guys we've got a lot of ground to cover, and what better place to start than with kittens and puppies and the North Shore Animal League. They are the world's largest organization for no-kill and adoption for pets, and they throw an annual gala that's supported by their spokespeople, Howard and Beth Stern, and celebrities that they're able to bring. I was at the annual gala where I caught up with Howard and Beth and all the celebrity attendees. Check it out.
I've always loved animals, and I don't know, for some reason people think that maybe I wouldn't like animals or something, but of course Beth kind of got very passionately involved with animal rescue and brought me along for the ride, but I'm right there with her. I love what we do, and raising money for North Shore Animal League and cage-free environment, and we foster kittens and cats in our home.
We have 10 in our house right now, 10 fosters.
At least.
Yeah.
I think there might be more.
We have 10 plus our 6, so
yeah,
we have 16.
16, and we do all this animal adoption, and it's very fulfilling. And Beth does all the heavy lifting. I name the cats and stuff, but...
You've scooped a litter box now.
Or two, yeah.
Does it make it easier to be with him because he's an animal lover? Like, would it have been a deal breaker for you if he wasn't into animals?
I think it would have been, right?
Probably, yeah. I think we talked about animals our first date.
How great the work that Howard and Beth are able to do with North Shore Animal League is. It's incredible, right?
She's become just such a powerful and potent spokesperson, and Howard as well. You know, we're lucky enough we live near them, and we spend a lot of time with them. We go to their house, and at some point in every evening when you go to their house, there is a trip to the kitten room, and you get on the ground and you're covered in kittens, and they're wonderful people. They're so warm and they're so generous, and they give of their time and everything else, and we admire them a lot.
Parker's a rescue, and I got him so long ago, way before I knew about North Shore, but I bring him every year. It's his one night out to get dressed up, so I allow it.
I'm always fascinated with dog names.
Yes.
How did you come up with Parker?
He's named after Sarah Jessica Parker because she got me through so many bad breakups by watching Sex and the City that I said, when I have a dog, I'm naming him Bradshaw or Parker, but he just looks like a Parker.
All right, guys, so earlier this summer, you may remember that Beth was actually in my studio with 7 kittens because she was hosting the Kitten Olympics, and it was amazing to see the work that she's doing. If you're not following her on Instagram, go follow. And also make sure to check out www.animalleague.org. Go adopt a puppy or kitten. Go support what they're doing. It's absolutely incredible. So I got to tell you, a date and time that you probably know is seared into my brain is Monday, December 5th at 10 o'clock on CBS. It's a Victoria's Secret fashion show. And we're in week 4 of Train Like an Angel, where we caught up with the queen of all Victoria's Secret angels, the one and only Adriana Lima, who took me boxing and showed me how she's preparing for this week's show. Check it out. So you know what I learned this morning, Adriana Lima?
Tell
I learned
me.
You would kick my butt in a fight after watching you go a couple rounds in that boxing ring.
I would not do that to you.
I'm happy to hear that. Why boxing? Like, when did you get into it?
Well, I was introduced to Michael at Aerospace when I was 19 years old, and I fell in love. I fell in love with it because it's challenging, and every day you learn something new. So I love working out with Michael, and he pushes you. Really, and I like to be challenged. I really love to learn like new punches and different moves, and I think you should try it. I know you tried before, but it helps when the trainer is good.
You must have had so many incredible moments throughout these years. What have been the 1 or 2 coolest moments that you've gotten to experience?
Okay, my first one in 1999, because I never thought that I would be working with such a big brand with all the supermodels. So that was like my big career moment. And then the second one, it was the first time that I opened a fashion show. It was in Los Angeles. I don't remember exactly the year, but that was a big thing for me. And I started to be a little bit more animated that year, like playing with the audience. It wasn't as much as just walking to the end of the runway. So I was a little bit more like having fun and showing my personality through, like, during the runway.
The one thing you didn't see in that interview is I asked Adriana how much longer she feels she could be an angel. She wants to do 20 years. She's going to be she's already the all-time leader, but I think she's going to put it out of touch for anybody else. 20 years is a long time in the modeling world. Anyway, make sure to check her out and all of the other gorgeous angels Monday, December 5th on CBS at 10 o'clock. They just taped the show, and it looks like it's going to be freaking awesome. Speaking of freaking awesome, you probably sense my excitement at the top of the show because we have Broadway's The Illusionists in here. I'm so excited to have them. I'm a huge magic buff. Guys, hello, Dana.
Hi.
And Rick. I love everything about magic. I was telling you before we got started. So teach me everything. Forget the rest of the show. We're just going to spend...
Oh, we got to turn the cameras off. Okay, so...
Wait, how important is that? Like, you always hear about protecting your tricks and all that stuff. I mean... Can you, I was telling you I love David Blaine. Do you watch a David Blaine special and can you figure out right away what he's doing or has done?
Can I be honest?
Yes. No, lie.
Well, that's what we do most of our career.
Yeah.
We lie. My whole life has been a big lie.
So don't believe a word you're saying. I got it.
Yes, I got it. Yes, we understand what he does. There's concepts, ideas, and things in the magic world that once you understand it, as a professional, that you kind of get what's going on. I've been a pro for 40 years.
Yeah.
So you can literally see when he's spitting frogs out of his mouth. You're like, I figured out how we did that.
Yes. Yeah.
See, that just takes away just the coolness of it, knowing that you guys know what's going on.
But I'm not going to spit frogs.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's not in my repertoire. Yeah, I don't...
Well, tell me about The Illusionists, because I was just talking to your press person who's here, and I was like, I can't wait to see this show. I'm going to have to clear some time. What happens in The Illusionists? What are people getting?
Well, they're getting a look back at what magic looked like 100 years ago. Well, we're presenting illusions that are modern-day illusions, and they are disguised to look like it. And then some illusions are illusions from the past that we've brought back and are presenting.
Magic is a very ancient art form. We are using concepts even 100 years old.
Yeah.
But with modern technology and a modern audience, we have to make sure that we fool them as well. But the concepts, the ideas, the style, I'm the immortal in the show. So, in fact, most people don't even know who I am after watching the show. I walk outside after the show and I remove my mustache and I go incognito immediately.
Yeah, me too.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like,
You're like, why is everyone
who are
asking me
you?
for pictures?
Who are you?
Yeah.
But I play this dramatic illusionist from the past. And you put the mustache on and you get these big illusions in my cape and all of a sudden I'm somebody else.
Yeah.
And I play this, you can imagine what kind of role these guys had. They were monstrous. Illusionists in the 1900s were the superstars of their time. There were no movies, there was no radio. When they performed in theaters, the illusionists were the people that everybody came to see.
And there were no special effects.
Talks about that. Go ahead, sorry.
And there were no special effects like on, there's no television, and movies were in their infancy, and they really didn't have special effects back then. And so when you saw a live magic show, it was something remarkable.
And you see a girl float in the air for the first time, you almost bow down and start worshiping the guy. I mean, they were superhuman. And one of the greatest things that we do, and I do in the show, and one thing that I've always wanted to do my whole life was float or fly. And I think everybody has that dream that they want to float in the air. And every night I fly in the air in the show.
I have 6 million questions for you guys, but I saw you had a pack of cards on you. So.
Oh, they're gone. No, they're right here.
Show me a trick. Play with me. Play with me like I'm a 6-year-old.
Like a 6-year-old. Okay. Your name, how old are you?
I'm Arthur. My child voice, I'm Arthur.
Tell you what, deck of cards, remove one, please.
But you're going to see which one I'm removing.
It makes it a lot
Oh,
easier.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's gonna be
You
like,
pick
"You
the
pick a
four spades. Hey. So
Great job.
it's
Okay.
good. And take a Sharpie pen
Okay.
and write your name right across the front. Great. Excellent.
Smart.
Added a little dimension, a little smiley face into
Oh,
there.
nice.
I'm keeping this?
No, I'll take that. Yeah, that's great. And what we're going to do is I'm going to fold it up, and I'm going to ask you to hold on to it. Okay, like that. If you could, just like that, like I'm doing the thumb and forefinger. Got it?
Like, do I have to like hold it up for your vision?
Yes. Keep it in view
Okay.
at all times. Now I'm going to take a card. I'll take a 10 of diamonds, and I'm going to sign my name. All right across the front, just like that.
Now, do you guys see why I was so excited? I love this
And
stuff.
mine, Dana, I signed. Of course, it's a girl's name. And just ask my sister Chuck. Now, if I fold my card up like this, and I hold it just like you. Now, you have your card of your signature. I have my card of my signature.
Okay.
We're going to do some magic.
Can I do it?
Yeah, Rick.
That was awesome.
Did you feel it?
You didn't feel it?
Oh, you did not switch it. I know that's what's happening here,
Well,
isn't it?
no, but you can see now in my hand, I have the
What
four
the
spades
hell?
with your name on it.
What the hell just happened? What? How does that, like, how long do you have to train to be able to do something that in your eyes is probably super simple, but in my eyes is like you just solved chemistry, all of chemistry?
Well, I will tell you this. It's actually not super simple. And it takes many years to work out these effects.
Yes.
And once you
There you
do
go.
so, and you've spent most of your life in the closet, I mean, literally,
What a weird way of putting it.
most of your life in the
and,
closet, in your room.
No dates, no girls.
dates,
Yeah.
no life. And then all of a sudden you emerge a magician, something to be very proud of. But it takes a lot of time and a lot of skill. And we're very proud of our profession. It's very unique. But you know, I'll tell you something else that makes it so different. We are the Illusionists. We are, all of us in this show have had tremendous successful careers. And they've taken 5 or 6 of the greatest illusionists this time around who've been around for a long time and put us together. There's no competition between us. There's no animosity between us. We are literally, we've all succeeded in our own right. And now we get to present the greatest magic in the world.
My final question, you always hear about competitiveness amongst magicians, and you just mentioned, hey, we're in a room together and we're cool. How competitive is the industry? Like, do you hate Penn and Teller? Like, will you beat them up on the street if you see them? Like, how competitive is it?
Oh, I love Penn and Teller. I think they're great for magic. I think they have one of the best shows in Las Vegas. So, nothing. I mean, there are individuals out there that are maybe, we don't want to go into that. Let's just see. Not everybody has respect.
Got it.
Okay, but you know, we all love each other in our show.
Guys, congratulations. I cannot wait to, just off that was like a 2-second thing, and I'm like, I cannot wait to see the full show. Congratulations. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
joining
very
us in
much.
studio. Make sure to check out Dana and Rick and the Illusionists. They're at the Palace Theater now on Broadway. As you can see, just from what he did to me, that freaked me out, by the way. It's a show that you must go see, and they're going to be going through until January 1st. So go to the Palace Theater, get tickets. They're doing 3 shows a day during the holidays. So go check them out. Next up, Lee Daniels. What an empire, quote unquote empire, he's built on television. He's become one of television's most prolific producers. And now he's got a terrific new show coming out. It's called Star. It's going to be on Fox as well. And where with Empire, we got to see a family at the height of its power. With Star, we see 3 young ladies who are beginning their trek in the showbiz empire of show business. And we caught up with Lee, Benjamin Bratt, and newcomer Jude Demorest to star in the show. Check it out.
We're going to get the American dream. We're going to get girls that are struggling, that come from troubled families, and dare to dream, and have their dreams come true.
How do you select the music? I mean, obviously you've got
It's the hardest thing ever.
Is it?
Yes, because also it's a lot of it has to do with the church and bringing people in a very organic and very cool way to coming back to God. So And so it's really it's a tricky line, you know what I mean? And we do it a little bit through gospel, we do it a little bit through R&B, we do it a little bit through pop, and I gotta find some rap, but the hip hop is all for Empire.
So High Heel, he is a shady agent, man. He thinks he's at the gold mine in Star, doesn't he? Tell me all about this guy.
As yet undetermined as to whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. Yeah, he's a guy who had a moment of fame back in the '90s with Queen Latifah's character Carlotta and her friend, and ever since he's been trying to scratch his way back to the top. In Star, he sees the potential to, make it back to the top of the heap potentially.
You've got one of the best minds in the business making this show, Lee Daniels. Talk to me about working with Lee. What makes him such a good creator of content like this?
He's a risk taker. I mean, the truth of the matter is he's dangerous. And for other artists, and particularly for actors, he presents a unique challenge in that he gives you the opportunity to work against or with something that you might not often have the chance to do.
As a young actress, you get to be around Lenny Kravitz, Queen Latifah, Benjamin Bratt, who's a legend. Talk to me about getting to work with the talent you got to work with.
It's overwhelming for that to be your first project. I remember we did one scene and I was standing there next to Lenny and Naomi and Queen and doing this scene with them, and it's really surreal and not what you expect for your first, real role.
Make sure to catch Lee Daniels' newest empire, hopefully, December 14th at 9 o'clock, 8 Central on Fox. The show, saw the opening episode. It's great, and the music's phenomenal, so make sure to check it out. Another person who's continued to create her own TV empire is Shonda Rhimes. She was just honored at the International Emmys. She's become one of the most powerful and most significant producers in television in recent memory, and one of her most popular shows is, of course, ABC's Scandal. It's made Tony Goldwyn America's favorite fictional president, and I caught up with him and he told me what playing Fitz has been like. Check it out. Is it fun when you get to be part of a show like this and tackle relevant topics like our current presidential election?
Yeah, that's the thing that's really fun. Some shows satirize it, and Shonda kind of creates an alternate reality so that we can explore a lot of the same things that are happening, sometimes before they happen, which is really crazy. It makes you, it's a cathartic in a certain way,
When you get a role like the one you've got on Scandal, how does it change your life?
Well, one is the public profile, to be in people's living rooms every week changes your sort of position walking down the street.
You get a table at a restaurant anytime
yeah,
you
right,
want.
and people calling you Mr. President when you walk in to buy gum. But I don't know. It changes it in so many ways. I've been doing this for a while now, so I've been in things that are very visible and things that are not so visible. But Scandal, there's something about being on a hit television series and that is different. And being a part of the kind of cultural conversation in the way that Scandal has been.
Scandal's back January 19th on ABC. Make sure to check it out. 6 seasons and still riding strong. It's still one of America's most popular shows. So, Nocturnal Animals, Tom Ford's second movie, just debuted. Great ratings, great critical and commercial reception. Boy, this guy just doesn't do anything wrong. And I've got one of our show's favorite friends, Jack Rico from Showbiz Cafe, joining us. We're going to break down this whole Nocturnal Animals, this whole Tom Ford thing. So, first place to start, is Tom Ford really this big a genius, man? Like, the guy can do no wrong.
He is. He's a genius. And I think this is one of the reasons that the cast and anybody wants to work with him, because geniuses are few and far between. Being a genius is doing something effortlessly that it takes people so much time to either master or do, and these people are just born with that gift. And I think
As you and I know all.
Yeah, I wish.
Just so everybody understands.
But I wish.
As Jack and I are very well aware.
So I think that for him to get Amy Adams or Colin Firth in his previous films, it's just more of a respect for the quality that his brand represents. And to be able to be a part of that universe that Tom Ford creates, it has to be interesting and curious for any actor.
It's interesting because I was on the red carpet for the New York premiere of the movie,
Right.
and Aaron Taylor Johnson, who stars in the movie, his wife Sam Taylor Johnson just directed 50 Shades of Grey. And I was like talking to them, and I go, Sam, How hard is it to do what Tom Ford does? And I want you to see your answer. Check this out.
I'd say it's extremely difficult to do it well, and I think his attention to detail within this is extraordinary, and also how he's kind of drawn out the characters so powerfully. It's not easy.
How hard do you think is it to be a director? I mean, you hear it from another director, but how hard do you think it is?
Denzel Washington recently said at the Walter Kerr Theater here in New York City about his film Fences, how difficult is it to direct when he's never directed? And he basically said, you think it's easy because you've seen it do it so many times and you've been a part of, on the other side of a director's point of view, but when you actually do it, it is extremely difficult. And there's a learning curve. Now, Tom Ford's learning curve is much shorter than probably most people because he thinks visually about everything. He's so meticulous about that. So I think that it's difficult to do if you've never done it, but if you're a genius, I think it seems to be easier. You still have to surround yourself with great technical people and a great cast to be able to bring out the best of you and to kind of hide some of the errors or flaws of your first time around.
It's one thing if you're Scorsese or Coppola and you've gone to film school and you've trained your whole life to do this. Do you think it A, aids him, or B, is a detriment to him that he's A, coming from the fashion world and an iconic designer, or B, does it actually make him a stronger, does it help in the creative development of everything he does?
I think it's an extension, it's a creative, every artist to a certain extent needs several outlets. He can't just be doing one thing. People want to paint. I believe that Tom went to NYU for art history. So this is a man that probably likes several outlets to be able to create it. Filmmaking is one of them, and filmmaking is probably the king of all the mediums in terms of getting your creativity out there. So yeah, I definitely do think that it doesn't affect him. It's odd to see somebody from the fashion world come into the filmmaking because you think
and be so successful, by the way.
And be so successful, but I think it's odd, but when they pull it off, oh my God, it's incredible.
I actually asked Tom Ford guys about what he thinks about being a director. Check out what he told me. How difficult is it to be a director?
I think if you love it, it isn't difficult. I find it absolutely the most exciting, fun thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, of course there are difficult moments. There are difficult moments every day. If you're creative and you're making decisions all the time, there are difficult moments in life. But I don't even think about them because I'm so passionate about it and I have such a great time doing it.
I think we can safely agree. He's just a boss, right? He's just a boss.
He's Tom Ford. I remember I've spoken to Daniel Craig various times, and I go, what is it about Tom Ford? And he's like, Tom Ford, just say his name. That is it. That's Daniel Craig saying that. So there's an amount of respect from the elite actors that they just see the talent and the skill that Tom has.
Speaking of elite actors, he's got a pretty good cast of elite actors.
Absolutely.
And the one leading it, Amy Adams. Talk about a week.
Yeah, we've had conversations about Amy Adams.
And we're going to talk all about it because I just read something where they are saying she is this year's Leonardo DiCaprio. She's like the actor or actress this year that has had a bunch of nominations that everybody loves, that everybody needs to win. What do you think it is about Amy Adams that makes her so good?
I think she brings substance to subtlety. I think that she's never in a role that's flamboyant or showy. They're all very layered, very complex, very textured. And to be able to tap into those nuances of emotional complexities is very difficult, and she seems to nail it all the time. Even in movies like Trouble with the Curve, that was a flop for Clint Eastwood, but she was one of the best things in it. And so when she has a steady career of constantly showing up and bringing her A game, I think it's easy to always put her in this category of one of the best actresses, and unfortunately she doesn't get that. And I truly believe it's because there's no buzz about her. People don't almost respect the work anymore. They kind of respect more the marketing hype behind something. They want star power. They want all the glamour and the buzz that goes about it. And she is as down to earth as a person as you'll ever meet. But when she turns on the camera, when that camera turns on, she's a beast. And so,
this is a dark movie, and I always think, as an artist, to get into a character in this type of dark environment, like you and I were talking before, and Aaron Taylor Johnson took him 3 months to get into character for this movie, then 3 months to get out of it.
Yeah.
You essentially become this. Michael Shannon in this movie, he's a king of
Loved
just
him in that movie.
oddness and crazy characters. I actually talked to him. You guys have to see this because he's famous for the various quirks that he puts into his characters. And I wanted to get an idea of how much thought goes into creating this kind of oddball dark nature. Check out what he told me.
It's a very subconscious thing, you know. I'm not trying to rack up a bunch of quirks, the Quirk Hall of Fame or anything. Just the instincts and impulses, they come from a place that is beyond thought. It's beyond thought.
It's fascinating to see that because you think the craft of acting, do they essentially, you feel like, become the character? Like with Heath Ledger, it actually killed him. It's a horrible thing to say, but becoming the Joker brought him to such a dark place that it killed him. When you look at someone like Amy Adams or Michael Shannon and what they're able to add to the character, how much of it do you think is just becoming the character and how much of it is a thought-out process?
So you're talking about one thing about an actor strategically planning what the character's going to be. And then once you finalize all the strategies, then you have to allow nature, life, the moment to kind of just further add or fuel to whatever you came up with. And it's a collaboration between you and just spontaneity. And I think that not everybody gets the spontaneity thing right. You have to be in flow and be clear with those characters. And unfortunately, not a lot of people get to do it, but Aaron Taylor Johnson in this movie,
kills it.
Man, oof.
And
One of
Shannon.
the more memorable performances I've seen Aaron do ever in his life.
By the way, Shannon got Critics' Choice Award nomination today. He's going to get an Oscar nomination for this movie.
He's been great since Revolutionary Road with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. Remember that movie?
As much as we're talking about
Small
Amy
parts,
Adams,
boom.
Can we, at this point, call Michael Shannon National Treasure?
You know, I think he's definitely has that cult following of people that love his type of work. It's not for everybody because even Tom Ford says that playing a good guy, a cop that he was playing, scared him. He brings a certain heft to his characters, and that look that he has really instills fear. So you got to know how to play him. He can't play just any role. Like he was the villain in Superman, and I didn't necessarily believe it, him as a superhero. And then 20 minutes in, I was like, this guy's the perfect, Zod.
Before we end this topic, I actually talked to Amy Adams as well, and one of the things I wanted to know is when you're coming out of a character like this, a dark movie, does it stay with you? Check out what she told me about character development. How does something like this change you? What do you take away from
Well, I
this?
was hoping what it would take away is that I'd be able to sort of live this Tom Ford version of me that he created. That didn't work. So I'm left with sort of a deeper meaning, which is to hold those that are near and dear to you, to not let them go, to not create disposable relationships in your life, and to not, veer off the road of your authenticity. I mean, that's the path you're meant to take, and to be brave enough to stay on it.
All right, so the final thing I want to talk about, the success of this movie. Why do you think this movie did so well in theaters?
You know, it's going to have a national rollout, I believe, December 9th. And the few theaters that it was in, it's two things, maybe three things. Tom Ford, because he's such a household name. But then you have Jake Gyllenhaal and Amy Adams that really bring this. Now, you had at some point compared this to Rules Don't Apply with Warren Beatty.
Yep.
Warren Beatty hasn't made a movie in 10 years. You don't know what you're getting from Warren today. And I think that the nostalgic, like Live by Night with Ben Affleck, I think those movies aren't doing so well as much as something that's thought-provoking. Society, for some reason, wants dark and destructive characters today. And that's not necessarily everybody's point of view, but the masses are speaking that those are the types of films they want to see. And this one kind of just fit right. I mean, we're talking about a Donald Trump presidency where there's a lot. It's hard.
Hell of a comparison you just made, Jeff.
Pop culture and politics are intertwined today. You can't have a conversation with anybody without bringing up politics at some point on a pop culture level. And I think that those dark moments is kind of like what we're living. And so movies like this tend to kind of just be more salient than others.
You're the man. Thanks as always for joining.
All right.
All right, guys, so everybody make sure to check out Nocturnal Animals. Both Jack and I agree it's a thumbs up, really great movie, but it's weird and it's dark and it's crazy and visually gorgeous, so check it out in theaters. All right, guys, well, that's it for our episode of Behind the Velvet Rope Live. Thank you to all of our in-studio guests, including Jack Rico, Dana Daniels and Rick Thomas from The Illusionists. Thank you to all of our guests that joined us on the red carpet. We'll be back next week with another episode. Also, for more celebrity coverage, make sure to check out our website, www.BehindTheVelvetRope.TV. Download our app in iOS on Apple. Make sure to check us out on social media at BTVRTV, Instagram at BTVRTV, and wherever else you can find us. See you next week, guys.